Can you smell what the flock is cooking? Flock up or flock off, not you. Stick around because it's about to go down. You now flocking the most energetic entity here in the Eagleverse, here on a Maniac Monday. How we like to do around this time, about this time, at this time, man. Let you know what we got in your prescriptions on this edition of what we dishing. Let's flock and go. Of course, we getting into what just went on over this weekend, man. We got a whole bunch of new birds flying around the nest that we got to break down. What else? Just things, basically, that's really, and you know what we see going down in the future. So, you know what I'm saying? Let's break it down. But before we get into any of that, let's get the nest keeping out of the way. Please like and subscribe. If you about that fly, Eagles fly. Drop a comment in that box if you're flying with the flock. Even if you're not, do remember, join that Maniac thing. Know the gang. You hit that bell. You get a ding whenever I'm on this YouTube thing. And while that's the Maniac thing, let's keep the main thing the main thing. Hope this video finds you good vibes. Fly, Eagle, fly skies. If you're not there, I hope this helps you get there because we about to go there. Oh, yeah. Flock and go. So, man, first things first, man. Just because we already spoke over the past few days. I believe I hopped on here. We spoke about Jahad Campbell. I'm head over head, like, chill. But you feel me? Like, that guy right there, I feel like can't miss. I can't believe he flew off of my eagle vision, but definitely not Howie Roseman's. When the rest of this league zigs, he zags. I'm looking at all these defensive tackles going that we just knew that we were going to get Walter Nolan. And amongst other guys that we saw, Derek Harmon, all kinds of, we just saw them dropping off early, and it's like the league is like, yo, you see what they do? Let's go do that. And Howie's like, yeah, got you, Mitches, right where I want you. And then he goes and we become linebacker you, because then you'll see as it goes down in this draft, yeah, these are the things. This is what we're doing now. Like, it's wild. It's flocking awesome. So we spoke on that. Then we spoke on Andrew McCuba. Initially, I was like, what the? And then I was like, what the? Because the dude just seems to be amazing. His tape, of course, these are the highlights. So it's going to look crazy. It's going to look amazing. We're going to see all the great things about him. I'm pretty sure there's things that he has to work on. But, I mean, and then I'm hearing people everywhere from saying they had him going in the first round to as late as the fifth round. I don't really believe I heard anybody say the first round, but, you know, definitely early second around that area. But whatever the case may be, we spoke on him. But then the next guy that we have to get into, dogs. I mean, like, I hadn't ever heard of this dude. Was not on my radar, but I mean, of course, he was on the Eagles' radar. The scouting staff, Howie Roseman, the whole organization. They were waiting for this guy. What's his name? Ty Robinson. We went from Mill Will to Ty Dolla $ign. Howie on the money again. When you just see the immeasurables on this guy. With the first and third pick, you just see the RAS score. I'm looking at the RAS scores. Something that's new to me. I mean, they came within my circumference, I want to say about a year, 2 years ago. And, you know, you look at these scores, I don't really know how to quantify them, what do they mean. But, you know, I just imagine that it means amazing athletic ability when you see guys 9 or above, right? So with the first pick, Jahad Campbell, he's up there. Then you see this guy, Tyler Robinson. I just saw, when you're watching the highlights, you're like, this dude pops off the screen. You got to love his motor, his intensity. He seems to play with a bit of swag. Like, you know, I don't want to say what I want to say, but you know what I want to say? Like, that dude seems like he got it. He knows it. You feel me? And then, it's just, dude looks the part. Humongous human being. The other thing that I loved about it was Clint Hurt is in the building. He's in the war room with them. He's on the call like, yo, listen, you going to get in here, you going to do it. Just love the fact that having Clint Hurt in the damn war room. You know, like, you've got these, of course, you got Coach Sirianni. I don't believe we've seen Vic in there, but, I mean, just what we're doing with the defense. I believe we went defense with the first 5 picks of this draft. So you know what? It was a concerted effort to go defense. I'm seeing. I don't want to necessarily say replacements for guys, because you know we want to get edges right off the bat, because that's what we're looking at. The Mike Greens of the world. I believe as a Rocco, who ended up, well, he's an enemy now. But whatever the case may be. You know, but this is just another one of those Swiss Army knives that it seems to be like something that I've always wanted the Eagles to go grab, and we did back in the day, but I feel like we never quite rightfully, correctly implemented these Swiss Army knives. But now, with Vic Fangio, you're seeing these things being implemented into the defense in live time and real time. The things that he could do, he is a genius. Not to mention, we all know this, he is the linebacker whisperer. And to get a guy, a talent like Jahad Campbell in that room is going to be flocking crazy. But then along the lines, like I said, once again, back, because we're going to talk about this all until the game start. You feel me? And I mean, that's the number 1 pick. The other guys, I don't want to get too high, too low. I mean, that is what the Maniac does. I'm always crazy up there. I'm out of this Eagleverse, you know. But we got to be real with ourselves, man, every year. I mean, look, we were just all, you know, like, we were all touting. We all wanted Walter Nolan, right? And then when the second he's not here, you're like, whatever, get him out of here, flock him. I mean, but there are guys that I've seen of like I believe Brian Brzee is another dude was on my radar. Brian Branch, a lot of these guys do turn out to be, what they're supposed to be to a certain extent. More often than not, Walter Nolan, I see nothing but, top tier things for that dude, but he's not here, so we got to move on. But I say that to say this. We get all wound up in this draft process and the guys that you want, this, that, and the third. Next thing you know, they're gone, and you could give a flock about them. Not someone's give a flock about them, but they're not with your team, so who cares? Get out of my face. And then we're going to fly with our guys, right? So I say that to say, I hope all these guys pan out, of course. My Eagles, I feel all the guys that we lost in free agency. We're talking about the Sweats and and the guys that we lost through the trades, like the CJ, I want to keep them all. My Eagles players, once they're on our team for one season, they're with us forever. At least in my opinion, at least in my eyes, the way I see things through these Eagle-colored glasses, right? With my glasses. But you get what I'm saying? So, when these guys come into the fold, you want them to prosper and do the damn thing, but very rarely are you like, can we keep on? But I'm just looking at them. Doggy. I mean, after Ty Robinson, Mac McWilliams, you see a replacement, hopefully, for Isaiah Rodgers, right? If I'm going to put a replacement tag on each one of these guys, I'll say with Jahad Campbell, that's just something that we needed with the question mark flying over the Kobe Dean's head, which really sucks because, we all love Kobe Dean. He was definitely a great contributor to the Super Bowl season we had. Let's say to the Super Bowl championship. However, the Eagles have to be realists. The previous year, I believe all three of his years with us, he's endured injuries. So, I mean, basically what they said about him coming into the league has reigned true. And, it sucks because you just feel it's not his fault, especially the injury that he caught this time around. It just didn't seem like something that would have, his size or anything, was a contributor to, but whatever the case may be. So that's Jahad Campbell, and the reason to grab him, and not to mention, he's just an athletic freak to do the damn thing. He flies all over the field. That dude looks amazing already. Makuba, another one, flying all over the field. He looks great. You've got, we're looking at a CJ replacement. Off top, I'm going to be hyperbolic. I'm a crazy, maniacal Eagles fan. But off top, I'm just looking at Bob Sanders. Bob Sanders and Ray Lewis when we look at Jahad Campbell and Drew McCool. That's what he wants us to call him, right? So you've got that going for him, but a more closer comparison is what people are saying. He looks like CJ, which is what I saw initially when I looked at the tape, and I'm like, nah, maybe I'm bugging. It's late night. I have been sipping a little bit. I don't want to throw that out there. I'll be crazy and say Bob Sanders. But the next day, I see everyone's feeling the same way. Like he shares some of the same attributes as a CJ does on the field, and it's hopefully this thing pans out. Ty Robinson, like I said, we go from Millwall to Ty Dolla $ign, Howie on the money again. Let's fly go Mac McWilliams and hoping this is an Isaiah Rodgers replacement. I heard he stands up well with a lot of guys in this draft, a lot of these top tier wide receivers who were picked early. So that's a good thing to know. Drew Kendall, not really a replacement for anyone, but I mean, just someone to help out in the trenches as far as, last year we had to go and move Landon Dickerson over to center when Cam Jurgens was going through what he was going through. And that's a horrible position to put yourself in when someone gets injured, because now not only is that position at peril, for lack of a better term, you're jeopardizing another position when you're moving another starter to another place. So you're almost essentially down two guys, right? Luckily enough, Cam Jurgens was able to come in and finish that championship game. However, the Eagles must have looked at that and said, you know what? Let's get something to kind of iron that out, straighten that out, because it's not quite where we want to be. So snatching him up another center. A lot of people didn't have them high on their boards. They see him as a stretch, much like Makuba was a stretch. However, the way I look at it, I'm listening to how he's saying it. He's saying, listen, He has some of the attributes that we like in a center, not to mention being a center is a very unconventional, unnatural position to put yourself in, for someone to snap a ball, look up, then go block, grown-ass clock in minutes, you kidding me? So, and this kid did it fluently, like many times he said, you go to the Senior Bowl and you'll see kids come up, we'll move that guard over to center, let him do this, and you'll see that these guys can't quite do it. Not to mention, I believe it is Brett Toff. A few years ago, we had him as a backup center in training camp, and it was a folly, like it was comedy of the folly. You know what the flock I'm trying to say. It was crazy. It looked like a damn blooper reel. You know what was going on out there. I don't want to smite Brett Toff's name, but I do believe it was him, and he is the third string center right now as it stands, with Drew Kendall joining the fold. So that's it's a good thing in my opinion as far as that goes. Draft capital, this, that, and the third. it is what it is. This coaching staff, this organization, Howie Roseman in the front office have garnered enough faith, garnered enough goodwill, belief in us as a fan base, at least me, I'll speak for myself, that, I just think it just almost feels like we can do no wrong. If we get it, it's going to work out. And I mean, I think it will. I hope it will. I mean, and they're probably super upset that I hope they don't make this mistake again, because they did have, what was it, Drew McMahon, Kenny McMahon? Some kid we picked up from North Carolina State last year that we put him on the practice squad. The Rams come through and swoop him up. And damn, flock the Rams. People out here talking like the Rams should have beat us. Like, that should have, would have, could have. If it was a fifth, we all beat. I'll drink to that. Let's get flocked up. It's a Get Right Monday. Screw y'all. Don't judge me. So, boom, we got Kyle McCord coming in on a quarterback, Syracuse. What I do like about him is he went through with the adversity, that these guys go through. I wouldn't say a similar path as Jalen Hurts, but regardless of what, he went from a bad situation, at least in his opinion, to a great situation up there in Syracuse. I mean, the kid that I saw in Ohio State, I saw another video I was just watching, like Ohio State, you can't forget that tape. You can't forget some of the things. You can't unsee some of the things you saw with him in Ohio State. But then he goes to Syracuse and turns it around in the game that I point to in particular. Like I tell you, I don't watch a lot of college football, but for whatever reason, it seems like I do see the things that could be highlights. Yeah, it's got to be the highlights. I do see the things that, pops out on everybody's radar as far as college football goes. And, of course, the playoffs, right? But the Syracuse game, this guy went out there and dueled with the top gun in the draft and out-dueled him. Did the damn thing. I was used to seeing Cam Ward come back from anything. But in this instance, Cam Ward was playing from the front. And I just, off top, I'm like, he's one of them comeback dudes. He can't front run. So, whatever the case may be, you got to appreciate one attribute by, being a little shaky on the other one. However, Kyle McCord out-dueled him, and I believe he was the top pass yardage thrower in the college ranks last year. So that's a great thing, and that's just another dude to throw into the quarterback factory. I mean, 4 guys in the fold seems a bit excessive to me. I don't know what they're going to do with that. Whereas you see that as like, so I'm a bit confused about, those 2 picks. However, once again, like I said, this organization, the way they run things, can't help but, ride with them, fly with them, whichever way, whichever direction they're going, because they take us to the top, motherfuckers. You already know. And then you got Miles Hinton, big dude from Michigan, and they seem to like these Michigan offensive linemen going back to the shed again. I mean, after picking up my boy last year, his name escapes me, but we pick up a guard from, or was it a tackle? Guard/tackle from Michigan last year. We go back to that well again and snatch up Miles Hinton. Boom, big dude. He's got that size. I mean, this other guy, I figured that he would have went ahead of him, but he had a lot of mistakes last year. Cameron Williams. We go with another dude to enroll into Stout University. So, I believe we're all good on those 2 guys. I'm not upset at that. Let's get some competition going. Let's get some guys in the fold to learn under Coach Stoutland and also Lane Johnson on that side of the ball. Let's flock and go. And this guy shocked the flock out of me. I just came back from Virginia Tech not 2 weeks ago. Shout out to the homie Tibbs and Optimistic Giants fan flock. Oh, you saw that? I mean, it's an impulse reflex reaction when it comes to the Giants. I don't know. And they got 2 Eagle Glazes over there, man. And your boy, who's that? They got Dart, who idolizes Jalen Hurts. Yeah, that might be a bit of a stretch, but that's how we're going to keep it. And then you got former Eagles fan. Yeah, right. Abdul Carter talking about he resents his Philadelphia Eagles. Yeah, whatever, bro. But yeah, man, it's so dope. We got ops, so we got guys up in the ops building. You know what I'm saying? That's a great thing to see. But however, once again, down there in Virginia Tech, I'm mad we didn't make it to the spring practice, whatever the case may be. Antoine Powell-Ryland out of Virginia Tech. I believe he had, 16, 17 sacks last season. Crazy TFLs. This kid is a beast. Shocked that he was still there. I'm guessing, at least what I've heard, the consensus is that he's more of a, a specialist as far as, third down, whatever the case may be. He's not a 3-down guy. But, I mean, just the production is there. Love to see it, especially this late into the draft, our last pick. And, that wraps it up with me. You know what I'm going to give this. That's an A+ for us. But if you want to break it down, we're going A, C, 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 4 C's, 2 A's, another A, 3 A's, 2 C's. I'm giving it a B+. And because you always got to grade it on the curve when Howie's in the mix and this coaching staff is in the fold, I believe that's going to raise it up to an A-. I can't help it. I mean, I can't wait to see these guys on the field. We just got a few more weeks to get into that, team activities and all that. And not to mention, in a week and 2 days, we're going to see the schedule in the coming days. We're going to get into the undrafted free agents that we snatched up also. So can't wait. The thing is, so the wheels are starting to turn. The wings are starting to fly. And we're about to go back to get another slice of that damn pie. Let's rock and go. Can't, you know, I'm hyped, man. But till the next time, make sure the best time. In the meantime, between time, keep it a green time. You already know how I like to do around this time. About this time, at this time. It's always Eagles and clock around here. Open your eagle eye, poke your beak, and give it a and ask these questions. What you gonna do when Eagle Mania swoops down and runs wild on you? Say it with me. EAGLES. Eagles. Let's flock and go. Gotta get that back into this season form. What we doing over here? Get the flock out of here.